Welcome to the John Galt Lines video on the LionChief TMCC control bridge. This device will allow you to control a LionChief engine from your TMCC command system. Before moving on, I recommend that you watch the TMCC and LionChief Plus system overview videos. These will demonstrate the normal functionality of each of these command systems. For this demonstration, I'll be using my LionChief Plus NW2 cab number 9412A. The bridge uses an Arduino microcontroller to take TMCC commands and relay them to the LionChief Plus engine. In the future, I hope to use one of the universal remotes in place of the original. I modified the remote by soldering several wires onto its circuit board. These include the contacts for each of the buttons as well as the potentiometer. A toggle switch was installed to allow operation in normal LionChief mode or from TMCC. I used a standard 8-pin Arduino header as the connector between the remote and the rest of the control system. Only 5 of these pins are actually used to control the remote. The microcontroller here is connected with several push buttons for programming as well as an LCD screen which will display what function is in use. For the prototype here, I used an Arduino Mega. This is because it has much more memory and a greater number of I/O pins. As it turns out, an Uno or Pro Mini would run the program just as easily. Only the original TMCC base will work with the bridge right now. For Legacy, I'll need to add an RS-232 converter module. Okay, with the boring stuff out of the way, let's have a look at the actual functionality here. The bridge has a button to switch between program and run modes. We'll press the blue button here to switch into program mode. From here we can set the address as with any other TMCC engine. I'm using address 94. Once the address is set, we can press the button again to switch to run mode. Our horn button now will play the horn. When we press the bell button, the bell will begin to ring. Pressing the bell button again will stop the bell. Now we can begin to move in our forward direction. We'll raise the throttle slowly. Our display here will show the current speed step to which we're set. It's worth noting that the LionChief engine actually only has 16 speeds, and the display is showing twice that at 32. This is because standard TMCC engines originally had 32 steps, so I decided to use that many on the display. Okay, pressing our direction button will bring the engine to a stop. And it will also change us to the reverse direction, so when we throttle up now, the engine will move in the reverse direction. We'll press direction again to bring our engine to a stop. Once again, we're in the forward direction now. Pressing the boost button will slowly accelerate the locomotive, and then it will slow down again when we release it. Here we can see the boost button functioning again. Now we'll bring the engine up to its top speed and demonstrate the brake button. As we hold that down, the locomotive will slow down. When we release the brake, it'll speed up once again. An important feature of the command system is the Halt button. This will stop all of the locomotives on your layout that are controlled by TMCC. Of course, it works with the bridge as well. Clearing the halt is as simple as issuing any command from the remote. Let's have a look now at the various momentum settings available. So far we've done everything with low momentum, which is the quickest throttle response available. We'll set now to medium, which will cause the throttle to take a little bit more time to respond, as well as making brake and boost functions take longer as well. Okay, let's have a look at the high momentum setting now. This will cause the locomotive to take quite a bit of time to increase in speed and to slow down again. Now we'll slow down again. Alright, we'll switch back to low momentum for the rest of the demonstration now. Alright, I'll bring the locomotive back around to the front of my test track here so we can get in for a close look at it and the other features. Alright, here we can have another look at the functions of the engine. Pressing our whistle or horn button will blow the horn. This will blow as long as we hold the button down. We have our bell button, which will start the bell ringing. The bell will then ring until we press the button again. We've already gone over the direction, boost, and brake. Next we have our front coupler. Then we have our rear coupler as well. On most TMCC engines, the aux2 button will toggle the headlight on and off. We don't have that option with the LionChief engine, so I'm using the button for the crew talk.
This is the dispatcher. You're cleared outbound. Over. Cleared outbound. Out. This is the dispatcher. You're cleared outbound. Over. Cleared outbound.
We can also access crew talk with the number pad as normal by pressing the 2 button. 7 would normally activate tower comm, and we'll also press the announcement button with that. Most of the other functions of the number pad aren't available with a LionChief engine, so those buttons have no function on the bridge. The 0 button will reset the engine. This will bring it to a stop if it's moving. 1 will raise our volume, and 4 will lower it. This function will only work if the locomotive is stopped, as we need to mimic the function of holding down both the whistle and bell buttons for at least 3 seconds. On the 3 button I added a grade crossing signal function. This signal seems to last a long time, but it's fairly accurate to a real locomotive crossing a grade. The bridge will also allow us to program trains, or lash-ups as sometimes they're called. These function the same as with any other TMCC engine. I'm going to be using train number 6 for the demonstration here. We'll press the track button, 6, 9, 4 for our locomotive, front, and set. And the horn will blow to let us know we did it. Being set as a front unit, all of the horn, bell, and announcement sounds will come from this locomotive. As a front locomotive, however, the rear coupler will not fire.
This is the dispatcher. Stand by. Over. I copy, dispatcher. Out.
Okay, now let's set it as a middle unit. Now when we press the horn or bell, we won't get any sounds from this locomotive. Okay, now we'll set our engine as a rear unit, and we'll make it rear facing by pressing the direction button. Once again, we won't get any whistle or bell sounds, but we will respond to our throttle. Pressing our front coupler button won't do anything, but our rear will now fire the front coupler of our locomotive. Let me close the coupler up so you can see that working. Once again, I'll place the rear coupler button, and that will fire the front coupler of the locomotive. We can also set our engine here as a front locomotive rear facing. That will cause the rear coupler to fire when we press the front button. Okay, we'll finish up here by removing the engine from the train 6. We can still access this now by pressing engine 94. Alright, there you have it for the functionality. Now I'm just going to run the trains for a little bit.
Roger that. Clear ahead. Out.
As we finish up here, there's one more feature of the bridge that's worth mentioning. You can see the couplers will fire as normal from the buttons. However, no matter how quickly you press the horn button or the bell button, the couplers will never fire by pressing them. Thank you very much for watching the John Galt Line's video demonstration of the LionChief TMCC control bridge. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at johngaltline@comcast.net. Once again, thank you for watching the John Galt Line.